Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Three Not So Wise Men. I'm Krais.
I'm Jyck.
And I'm Austin.
So last time when we spun the wheel, we got extreme sport video game, correct?
Yes, extreme sports video game.
Yes.
And basically this just allows us a lot of creative freedom to make a video game with a sport, and you can make it as extreme as you want to.
Yes. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to take if this is the first episode you've listened to, well then welcome. How this works is we're going to put on a timer for 30 minutes, and then each one of us is going to have that time to come up with a video game that fits with the prompt. So I might do something like, I don't know, underwater basket weaving, the sport.
That thing is, that actually is a sport. That's actually a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Oh my god. Okay. Sorry, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
That's a thing.
Yeah,
I did.
I haven't heard
sounds
about that in a
fun.
fat
That sounds
minute.
like a blast.
Yeah.
We should do that after this.
I know this great guy down the... No, kidding.
Do it while it's still summertime.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today.
Wait, sorry. It has to be winter because it's extreme, right?
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
I mean, I like where Jack says that.
All right. Sorry.
Where are you getting that?
Extreme underwater basket weaving. You do it in the winter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. I'm following now. Just ice cold water. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That extreme. Okay.
That extreme.
I'm following. I was like, what about the
Yeah.
word extreme makes it winter time?
Yeah.
I'm going to love the cold, guys. This is going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I guess before we get started on that, you guys want to start sharing your little thoughts on sports video games? I have a feeling this is going to be a very short section.
Yeah. Well, let's go first.
Okay. I'm going to keep my mouth shut until it's...
Chris, you feel like you should probably go
Yeah.
first. Get it off.
Mine is too much of a hot take.
Hey, get it off your chest. Get it off your chest.
I hate sport video games with a burning passion. I don't like them.
That's
Okay.
just an opinion. It's not super controversial.
I don't know. It's just like... There's so many people that I've met that are like, oh yeah, I'm a gamer, but I only play like FIFA or something. It's like, no, you're just a jock that's too bored to go outside.
Okay, that's a hot take.
Yeah.
No, well, that's some of the people I've met. But I get why people enjoy the game. It's just personally, I don't find enjoyment from these games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not a big football guy. I'm not a big basketball guy. I used to play baseball, but even then, it's just like, it's baseball, I guess. Yeah, the probably the only sport that I've played, and the last sport I played was probably golf, and that was way back in high school. And I wouldn't even count that as like a sport. It's more of a gentleman's game.
Mm-hmm.
Straightens tie, cleans monocle, puts on top hat. But
Well, what I like to say, there's two main sports that everyday people like to play in their adult lives. It's either golf or bowling.
Yeah.
golf is fun on certain days, and bowling is awesome. But the other sports are, they're all right.
Jack, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm not against sport video games. I just don't really play them. I think football ones are cool if you get into them enough that it's still casual, but you know what you're doing. I do enjoy them as an every now and again thing. Like, I might just, every now and again just play. I don't know, play it for a couple hours. I don't know what football. Not really Madden, but anyway. But yeah, in basketball games, I think soccer. Just in general, the fields are too big for me. It's not as fast-paced as I'd like in a video game of that nature. Anyway, that's its own thing. That's me against the sport as opposed to the game, which I know is a hot take as well. But yeah, I've played a little bit, but I'm not like super into it. Like, I think the sport game I played the most was Mario Hoops 3-on-3.
Yes.
Which technically is a sports game. I actually really enjoyed that one, but like if it's like the more realistic ones like Madden or I'm not as big of a fan as that. But when it comes to, extreme sport video games, I'm more into it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So for me, I used to play a lot of sports back in high school.
But no.
Not high school, but I did too. I wasn't any good, but I did.
Yeah, I was doing it for a joke, but go on.
Yeah. But yeah, I played football, I wrestled, I did track and field, I was a hurdler.
Oh,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
You only ever talk about when we talk about
Well, I
sports,
know,
it's
I'm a
always
short
football.
dude. I'm a short dude, so you wouldn't expect me to be a hurdler, but I can get over them.
Well, and it's not that. It's just when we talk about sports, we talk about football. So
Yeah, that and then I also did swim team in the summers. So yeah, Krais learned about me today.
that makes sense, but I also didn't know that.
So yeah, I have a good history with actually playing sports. I don't play a lot of sports video games because they don't feel the same to me after being able to play the sports for so long.
Yeah.
Basketball games in particular, I absolutely hate because I can never get the controls down for those games.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm someone that's able to adapt to controls pretty good
Yeah.
in video games. But for some reason, basketball can't do it. Miss every single shot. And so I just haven't had a lot of fun for it. I have a cousin who played soccer for a large portion of his life, and he played the FIFA games. He kicked my ass in those games, and I still couldn't figure it out. So I think the only sports video game besides Mario Kart as a racing game. Some people would consider racing games sports games. So
Yeah. I consider
especially if it's like a NASCAR or something official.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I would consider those sports games, but also they've become their own genre.
Yeah,
as
that
well.
too.
That's the only thing I could argue against them being sports games, because I do consider them actual sports.
Imagine a racing game like FIFA or Madden that just on Rainbow Road.
So you're talking about Rocket League.
No.
Rocket League without a barrier. So
I mean, think about it. You get sports cars. You're hit on a soccer field, and you can get some rainbow patterns everywhere. Sometimes the roads are rainbow. Sometimes the walls are rainbow. But anyways, I'd say the closest, the only sports video game. I guess there's two sports video games I kind of play. I played a decent amount of WWE wrestling with my brother, and those are fun every now and then. I'll play them. When it comes to football games, I can only really play one game because we like to set them to a decent amount of time when we play them at home. And also, I get really into it. Football kind of just brings out my old sports jock version of myself because actually I like to think of me as more this coach like, why didn't you catch that ball? It was right there! And I know a lot of time it's just me not pressing the buttons correctly, but I get really fired up about the sports games, and I try to stay away from them because I don't really get a whole lot of rage when I'm playing shooter games, like Call of Duty or Fortnite.
Yeah.
But for some reason, sports games, those really drive me crazy.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of my history with sports and sports video games.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, just nice little diversity here.
Yeah.
Krais learned about my sports history.
Yeah.
Austin played more sports and enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Krais, neither really. I'm meh towards both.
Yeah.
I'll play I'll play a fun pick me up game, but that's about it.
And we'll do recreational volleyball sometimes.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Fun.
That's fun. I really like playing volleyball, but
My ankle can't do
only
it.
for fun.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I suppose we should probably get ready to get into it, shouldn't we?
All right. 30 minutes. Y'all ready for this?
Not quite yet.
Me neither.
All right. 30 minutes. Start now. And time.
Okay.
Woo! How are we feeling on this?
That was a fun one, actually.
Yeah.
I had more fun than I thought I was.
I did too. I'm sure I probably had more ideas because I know I was rushing to finish on this. Like, oh no, I got to do this and this and this. But you got done early this time.
I did. I got done with 10 minutes to spare. I spent that time working on lore.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
There's definitely more I could add, but I couldn't think of anything at the moment, and I'll elaborate more when I go, but I'm happy with what I got. It's a great starting point.
Yeah, that's how I feel about mine, because I definitely there's one section that really needed more fleshed out or added to it, but I am happy with what I got in the time I did.
Me too. All right.
Glad.
We get to get into it?
Oh yeah, let's see who's going
Let's do it.
Let's see who's going first.
I've never wanted to go first more.
Really?
Yeah.
Here's another shocker. Me too.
Wow.
Okay. Watch this be the time you go last.
Yeah.
That or I go first just to spike you.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm fine with whichever.
Let's see what fate has for us.
I'm cool with whatever. I'm just excited.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Krais. You do get to go first. And the one time you're excited to.
Yep. Nice.
I'm still nervous, but oh boy.
All
right.
Who's next?
After Krais. Jack, you are next.
Okay.
It was so close to being me. But honestly, I'm happy with going last on this one. I'm excited for it. All right. With that note, Krais, would you like to get started?
No, walks out. All right.
My turn. Okay.
So,
Krais, tell us, what sport did you choose?
just classes. Welcome to Paradise Resort. You, the contestant, receive a prize to a free all-paid trip to Paradise Resort. A beautiful island owned by Zach X Trem, a private island with its own snowy mountain range, allowing you to enjoy the sun and the snow. However, when you get there, ready to enjoy the beauty, you find the place is not like it is in the brochure. Turns out, Zach X Trem is a mad scientist who made a weather machine, ready to turn your misery into sweet, sweet cash.
Okay, so you really went in with the lore.
Yeah.
What's the sport?
Yeah.
I went off of, do you remember the old Wii Paradise Resort game where you could play multiple games at once?
Oh, Wii Sports.
Yeah, Wii Sports.
Yeah, Wii Sports Resort, yeah.
Yeah, Wii Sports Resort. This is basically that, but with my own twist on it.
Okay.
I was like, is this a snowboarding game? Or?
No, this is a 20-game-in-1 extreme sports game.
Okay.
Okay? And those games are disc golf, archery, ice fishing, table tennis, pool, badminton, cricket, darts, fencing, battling, canoeing, surfing, cycling, ice yachting. I don't know how to pronounce this one, but haka P or like PEI. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that. Hang gliding, drone racing, and polo.
Okay.
You said drone racing?
Drone racing.
Okay. Explain. There's two that I didn't know what it was. One was the name you couldn't pronounce.
Okay. I actually pulled it up for this reason.
I have a feeling.
So, it is an extreme sport of Easter Island. A traditional and risky competition that involves sliding down a hill on a banana sled, which is basically just like a tree log, with no protection. And by no protection, it means no clothing.
Okay.
So this is a mature sports game.
This is very mature. Well, I mean, there could be. That's how.
Are you rated M or rated A for adults only?
No, this is. I was thinking of like a kid's game, but there is clothing out in this version.
Okay.
Okay.
But that's what it traditionally says.
Everyone's nude. Wait, what?
So I imagine they're just wearing like shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, something like that. But I envision this as like me. Everyone is me's.
Yeah.
In the game.
Yeah.
But
so Wii Sports Resort.
Yeah, it's Wii Sports Resort.
There was one other one. What was it? Yacht.
Ice yachting.
Yeah.
It's basically just like sail surfing on ice.
Interesting.
That's basically what I read from it. Yeah. I wanted to pick sports that weren't widely popular.
Yeah.
I also wanted to like pick sports from other like cultures as well.
Yeah.
But that led to a really weird rabbit hole.
Sounds right.
Because there was one that I was like, oh, it would be so funny if I did this, but it would make no sense. It was tuna throwing, which is basically just like taking a tuna, wrapping a rope by the tail, and just basically shot putting it.
Nice.
But I was like, no, I'm gonna just stick with like what I have. But point is, 20 sports. Let me count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them are involving like you on something, or using some kind of vehicle in general. The others are just like the other. Like other 12 are.
You doing something.
Yeah, you doing something. So basically, you pick a sport, then a severe weather is picked.
Okay.
And the weathers that I have are fog, thunderstorm, wildfire, floods, avalanche, heat wave, sandstorm, and volcano.
How does the weather get picked? Is it random from the
It's
game? Or
random.
Is it, okay, so it's not selected by player.
Well, okay, I'll get into that. But there are basically 2 modes. There is free play, and then there's the campaign. The campaign is basically the story I said. Basically, you were given this free pass to this, and I made this joke, but I don't know if anyone picked up on it. Instead of it being, Paradise Resort, it's, Paradise Resort.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Okay.
But the campaign is basically you, the contestant, trying to get off the island by just dancing to the game master's whim, being like, "Hey, do this sport while this effect is going on, and if you do all 15 of the ones that I want, you can go." So yeah, I went very comedical with this, I will say. Yeah.
So what's the graphics situation? Are you going for like realism, or are you going like more of a cartoony vibe?
It's somewhere in between. I like not super cartoony, but like not realistic either.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would just like a step above what Mii's were. I'm going to say like it would look weird just being a bunch of shapes, but I also just want like
simple
cartoony.
Yeah.
Because it is a comedy game. Like
Yeah.
I'm going off of that. But that's the campaign, and there's also the free to play. So basically, you can say, I want to play this game with this weather effect, and then certain weather effects have do certain things depending on the game. Like fog makes it harder to hit your target with disc golf. So you don't have like you know how when you play golf you can see the map in the bottom right corner. Fog basically says, nope, you can't see it. Have fun. Mm-hmm. But some of them are worse in certain stages. So it's like, oh, okay, I literally got the worst luck with the draw. Like thunderstorm while hang gliding, that's an effect, which is basically like get to the bottom of the mountain going through these rings and then don't get shot. Mm-hmm. And then another one I thought would be fun would be ice yachting with a heat wave.
Okay. Okay. Just don't fall in.
And the ice is probably melted, but so you're going super fast.
Yeah, so you're basically just like a rock skipping on water at some point. Mm. But yeah. I also decided, this was a last minute thing of mine, but I also decided it would be fun to do an online multiplayer mode. Mm-hmm. You can have up to 4 people per game, and you can pick, and like one person from the party can pick the weather effect. So it would be basically like, guys, just so you know, I picked Rainbow Road. Come on, Jerry! So it's along those lines.
When I pick Rainbow Road, when
yeah.
I play Mario Kart.
That's exactly what it is. But yeah, that's basically what it is. It's I thought it would be more fun to pick more than one sport because I don't see any of these getting their own like individual extreme sport game, mm-hmm. but clumping them all together into one, I think they have more of a chance. And you know, it'd be fun to play them in really shitty weather. So
mm-hmm. Gotcha.
I like that.
Jack, you want to go first?
Yeah, I really like it. It sounds really fun. It also reminds me of Super Monkey Ball, kind of, because it's just, they have a lot of games, and some of them are just like crazy like that, and then they have, more standard ones. But yeah, I really like it, and I like that you added the weather thing, because that can really change a game for sure. And so it's not only... You're really good at making things more crazy.
Yeah, more crazy.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out a word for that.
There we go.
Nice little
salt mean.
Yeah, put a little salt on it.
Salt Bays. That was I don't know pop culture. I don't. So yeah, I really like that. It sounds fun. I don't really have notes, honestly. Like, I think it knows what it wants to do, and it does that very well. So it's not exactly... What platforms would this be on? How about that? That's a question I can ask.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Cross-platform.
Cross-platform,
yeah.
All platforms.
Yes.
You can fit it on, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it could go on even something like the Switch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that'll be a problem. Yeah, I don't really have anything.
Okay, so I do have some things.
I'm sure you do.
What I do really like about yours is that you are bringing all these different and unique sports from not only just, hey, they don't get games on their own, but also like, hey, this is from this culture, mm-hmm. and bring that in. I think that's really cool and super unique, and you can see a lot of fun new stuff. I think what draws yours back for me a little bit is just like you have so much, and I kind of just want more detail on the sport. So I would have maybe mentioned a couple less sports, and then go into detail on some more of these sports, and maybe throw in a couple more how much more crazy they're gonna get. Overall, really good concept. I just wanted a little bit more detail, and then I feel like some of the sports are super close to each other, so it's not necessarily like its own game mode. It sounded like there was a couple racing ones that sounded very similar to each other. And yeah, and this is an idea I had, and I think Wii Sports did this too. You had both frisbee golf and regular golf. Typically, I think what Wii Sports does, don't quote me on it exactly because I haven't played Wii Sports in a little bit, but they have an option where you select golf, and then you get to choose whether you want to do traditional or frisbee golf.
Okay.
Just that way, you get more in there.
Yeah.
It's just like, you gave a good list of sports. I just kind of wanted to hear more about the sports. And I think if you listed less sports, you could go into more detail about the other sports.
Yeah, I agree. I wanted to hear more, but also I feel like you said you had 10 minutes extra. I didn't know if that was enough to go into each of the sports. But yeah, if you had cut some.
Yeah, and you said that you did have 10 minutes, and I think you even didn't optimize that full 10 minutes either.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I really like the lore that you came up with too.
Yeah.
Extreme.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Would you guys like to know how it's spelled?
Yes. So I know this is a tangent, but I am very curious.
EX-TREME.
But it's pronounced Trem.
Trem.
Yeah, gotcha.
Interesting. But yeah, I think you have a good concept here, and I liked it overall. And I feel like you could probably could have used your time a little bit more to just put more detail in it.
Yeah. Flesh it out better.
Yeah,
that's a good way.
Like, I know you used some of it for the lore, but even then, I feel like you probably still had extra time that you just didn't know what to do it with. But overall, pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Jack, you ready?
All right, we ready? All right. So the name of this game is Extreme Basketball Name. I couldn't think of a name.
Basketball sport. Got it.
I couldn't think of a name. So yeah, so it's a basketball game. When we when we spun the wheel and we got this prompt, I immediately thought of the anime Kuroko's Basketball. It's an anime about a guy who plays basketball, and it's his basketball because it's this whole thing. I really like the show, but in it, each person all the main characters have like a special thing they do really, really well, to the point it's insane. And I'm like, ooh, that's essentially like a video. Like, I really want a video game of this where you can just use their abilities. That's what I thought of. I didn't make that game, but I used that idea to jump off. I thought about it, but I wanted to add a lot more to it, and I couldn't do that if I stuck with that. Although I still want to see that game. So the storyline's pretty basic. I didn't really focus on the storyline for once because I wanted to try something new. Basically, you play a guy who's new to town who wants to play basketball. He finds a street game. There's a mean bully team, and they challenge. There's a challenge where the winner of the local grand tournament, wins the rights to use the court. Pretty basic sports storyline. Mm-hmm. They use it over and over again. Okay, but you start the game with your base character. You get to name it. You can customize this guy's looks. And this is the only player you can customize the looks of, but since it's your player, I feel like it's good to have that. Basically, you're new to town, so you need to make a team. That's what a lot of it is centered off of, but then I have the extreme element later. I'll get to that. But then you also you do a quick design for a jersey. There's just options, basically choose the color, logo, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But when we get to the actual game, there's 3 things you need to do. A lot of it is building a team. It's not just, you play as a character and you unlock certain things. There is that, but there is also management to this, which I wanted to do that as well, because I know sports games have this as well. So there's 3 aspects to it. There's recruitment. This is how you get more players or NPC characters, and there's some with bits of storyline and backstory, of course, but generally there's really not much to it. But each character has different stats, focusing on different areas, which I'll get into in a second. But if your recruitment's high, you're more likely to get people to show up and ask to join your team, or it's easier to convince a player you're seeking out, for instance, if there's someone really good at shooting that you want to recruit because your team is lacking in that, you can follow a storyline and meet this guy, and you're more likely to be able to recruit him, whether it's just convincing him or paying them, and then you can negotiate for a lesser cost. Money is an aspect in this. And you can upgrade this by publicity. You can like upgrade like social media presence. You can also go to different areas in this city or different nearby towns to like spread your name in the local area so people want to join your team. And then there's also branding. You can put more money into jerseys, your logo, if there's a cheer team, mascots, that kind of thing. Anyway, that's an aspect. That's not the main thing. The main thing is how you train your characters. This is the actual gameplay. So when you get into games, there's 3 stats you can work on. I wanted to switch it to like strength, jump, agility, that kind of thing, but I didn't have time. So the 3 stats are dribbling, passing, and shooting. As you upgrade these, for upgraded dribbling, it's easier to move around and your character moves faster. And you can unlock different abilities there's a skill tree. As you upgrade these stats, you can unlock different abilities, and some are like dribbling and passing, dribbling and shooting, passing, shooting. If you upgrade, the requirements have to be met for that as well. I'll go into the abilities later. But yeah, and then another thing with these stats is if an opponent has better stats at you in dribbling, for instance, they're more likely to steal the ball or just block you from moving forward. Or shooting, they're more likely to block or more likely to get a shot on you. And then, passing, interrupting, that kind of thing. Disrupting your gameplay. Then the third aspect is funds. You can get more funds by playing in small leagues with prize money, by betting on street games. You can even get sponsors if your recruitment is good enough. These unlock different ways to better recruit, social media manager. You can get better equipment for your characters, for your players to train up, and you can like send this guy, you're going to go work on these drills to upgrade your shooting and just automatically do that. Or you can do a quick little mini game type of thing. And then how you start the game, I'll get into gameplay in a second. As you start the game, it's just your character and 4 random NPCs, the cheapest jerseys, and a little startup money. And it's your job to better your team by getting new players, upgrading your players, all the stuff I mentioned before. And then you're working your way to get to the local grand tournament where there's a lot of prize money. And for the storyline, the final match in the tournament will be the team you challenged. But you can go back to it and redo the tournament. The entry fee is the same, but it's random teams each time that specialize in different things. So, yeah. All right, now to the gameplay. There's 2 different modes in the gameplay, and you can switch between them. There's single player, which is just you're controlling the one character, whichever one has the ball, and then there's also team. So for the single player, I set this with like a standard like gaming controller, but this is cross-platform. You can do this on PC even. But you control one player at a time, and all the other players, including your teammates, are CPUs. And this lets you get more personal and lets you use the abilities better. And then you can use the buttons to perform combos, to use these certain abilities. And when you shoot, you can actually aim a little bit better. It just lets you control a lot more. However, if you use team mode, it's more of a top-down view, and you basically, let's say, right stick is selecting the player, and left stick is moving your character around and aiming. So, and then different buttons do different things, like A and aiming is to pass a certain direction, B and aiming is to shoot it, and you can hold down B for a longer shot for different things because it can come short. X, you can do a pre-selected thing, and then same with Y, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's what it is. It's just different inputs to do different things. Team mode, you control more of the court, but there's less options for you to do. But if you want to do single player, it's a lot. I feel that's what I would do a lot more, because it also has a great thing for different animations. And also, I should go into what it looks like. I'm still sticking with the anime look to it, so I really like that personally. Especially when you do the abilities, it's like a quick little cutscene of you alley-ooping it to someone. I just think would be really fun. And then there are 4 modes of gameplay. There's the story, where it's just you. Local play, it's up to 4 players out online. Online is up to 10 players, 5 on each team. And then there's also quick match, and there's settings where you can set it to how random you want to be, because it could be 10 completely random, preset CPU NPCs and stuff. All right, now on to abilities. The last thing, abilities in parentheses, what makes it extreme. So all these have charge up meters as you play. You can't just use them right away, of course. And another thing I like is the more you use these, the less likely they are to succeed because your opponents have seen them. and then there's exceptions. But under dribbling, I did at least 2 for each. Under dribbling, there's rush, basically just sprinting through an area. And then there's show off, which is basically you just show off your dribbling skills so much it mesmerizes your opponent, who's guarding you for a moment and lets you pass them. That's the most video game thing in here, but I really like it. And there's a bunch of abilities. There's a whole skill tree, but obviously I didn't have time to make that. And then for shooting, the abilities, there's long shot. It lets you shoot from anywhere in the court with enough charge up. Behind the baskets, if your dribbling is also high enough, you can use this if you basically rush the hoop like you're about to dunk, and then you just jump, you just duck down, jump, and shoot from behind the basket. Of course, you have to pull off a combination of buttons for that. There's dunk, and then as you upgrade that, it just becomes more and more powerful and harder to block. And then alley-oop, if passing is also high enough, you can press alley-oop, and a nearby player or on your team will jump up and dunk it. And then passing, there's redirect, which is basically you pass it to a player or a teammate, but it's through another player, so it's super quick. Through pass, basically passing it between opponent's legs. The more upgrade, the more it's upgraded, the more players you can pass it through. And then long pass, you can just pass it across the whole freaking court as what's it called, a counterattack. Yeah, there's a lot to it, and it would take a lot of time commitment for when you're playing it to get really good at it. But I feel like it'd be really, really fun when you do get good at it, and it's something you can keep playing as well. You can keep going back to it because the tournament's going to be different. I mean, just the grand tournament. There's also a bunch of other things. The grand tournament will be completely different every single time. That's what I got.
Cool. Grace, do you want to go first?
I'm okay with going second if you want to go first.
Okay.
You normally get second.
Yeah. Let's change it up. I guess.
Let's change it up. Yeah.
But what I really like about this is that you didn't just focus on the basketball part, but you kind of made it like a whole franchise game.
Yeah.
And that's really unique about it. One thing I also really like about it is that you use a skill tree system for the sports game, because I don't know if I know a sports game that uses a skill tree system, since it's mostly used in like RPGs and stuff like that. So I thought that was really unique.
Yeah.
Quick question. What is the art style? You said that you had an inspiration from an anime style,
Yeah.
so are you looking for like that Persona kind of art style with it?
Yeah, I thought I explained. Yeah, it's an anime. Like you'll see it in Persona. There's Jump Force is an older game, but yeah, that kind of style. You basically play as anime figures, but and you can customize yours, but every other NPC is either randomized or pre-selected. But yeah, they all look like anime characters. They're all unique though. They're not like actual.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying like, hey, it's gonna be an exact copy of anything.
Yeah,
but
it's not like
it's going to be more of an anime style. Of art form. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's what you came up with really good. It's really detailed. I really like how you went beyond just the core gameplay. Yeah. And like I was curious to see what you would do with a basketball stream sports game, and I think what you did was pretty unique. Yeah. And I really don't have a whole lot of notes. I thought the franchise and the skill tree systems, those were my 2 big takeaways from it. And I really think that was a good idea. I also like how you have the money system, so you have to manage how the franchise works, and I think just upgrading this team's gear and stats and everything, that's just so fun. And I really play this, and I said earlier that I don't play basketball video games, but I'd give this a shot.
Yeah. And I kind of like the idea of, as you're upgrading, like you're the first time you use a piece of equipment, there's a mini game or a real quick one, even if it's just like, you get better basketballs to train with, then, it's just a quick, free throw mini game. But then you can do that again, but you can also just set it to automatic, just to have your player just automatically do that. And then also you could just be making funds with sponsors if you recruit them, that type of thing. It's also automatic, so you could just, once you get to a certain point, you can just play, and then everything else runs itself at that point. You just have to work your way and manage to get that point.
Yeah, and also you really went into detail about all the different game modes and like different subsections of the different parts of the game, and I thought you were just very detailed on all that all around.
Yeah. I don't know how I got this detailed, but it just worked this time. I'm just happy with this.
I'll say I was probably expecting a lot less detail for this one.
Me too.
So I'm just impressed.
Yeah.
Grace, you got anything?
I fucking love this game. You kind of stole my thunder when you said Persona, but I love how as soon as you were talking about like going around recruiting people, I'm like, hey, that kind kind of sounds like Persona right now. And then you start going about the skills tree, and you're like, hey, that sounds like Persona right now. I'm playing Persona right now also, by the way. So,
For the record, I haven't played Persona.
I'll say that too. I have not played Persona. All I know is that it's more of an anime game.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing Persona-wise, because I don't know that many anime games. So it's like, that's the one thing I was like, hey, I know Persona's an anime game. Is it going to be kind of like that art style? That's my thing. You have a better understanding of the comics.
But what I love about the Persona games is basically like you can have a good playthrough in your first playthrough, but it won't always be perfect. And that's basically what it sounded like here. Like you get better every playthrough you do.
Mm-hmm. Okay? I think that's the case with every video game, though.
Well, no, because you were talking about how like some of the game mechanics might be hard to understand at first, but once you get into like a few playthroughs,
sounds like every video game: The Witcher, Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto, Fallout.
Yeah,
you know, it's like everyone's first time playing a game. It's gonna be difficult at first, and then they.
Point is, I really do like how this is structured. It sounded like it sounded so much like a new like game to me personally that I would be willing to play this game. Like I would want to play this game, and that's saying something because I was talking about how much I don't like sports game at the beginning of this, but. Yeah, it's just like you were talking about the modes, the skill trees. Like that sounds like a fun way to use. Like you were saying, Austin, I don't see a lot of sports games using skill trees like that. So I think it's a very versatile thing, and I think you did a really good job with it. I would play that.
It shows the RPG player in me, the fact that I did that.
Yeah.
But for like the visuals, the game I was thinking of was My Heroes 1 Justice. So if you look up that, you'll see the art style I was thinking about and going for anyone who's listening. Because obviously I can't just put it on there.
What is it called?
My Heroes 1 Justice. 2 specifically, but they have the same art style, the first and second. The second one's just better.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very colorful, very vibrant, but it still has the anime, like comic book type to it. And I really like that, because that's kind of what I was going for.
Cool.
But yeah, that's what I got. I don't have a name for it though. If I think of that before we finish recording, I'll say it. But all right.
Jump Force.
Yeah.
Honestly, not bad.
Yeah. Well, that's a anime game.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. From Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
It's a fighting game.
Shows how much I know about anime.
Yeah.
You will learn.
Okay, I'll add a prompt. Create your own anime.
Oh God.
Oh shoot.
Oh God. No.
Honestly, we should add that though.
Okay. All right.
I'd love to see yours. But anyway, you're Austin.
Sports.
Show us your game.
Come on.
All right. So I did an extreme American football game, and so basically you're gonna play football like normal, right? But do you think that players have gone too soft? Like pro football's gotten a little soft?
No.
Well, I think it has. So we're gonna make it incredibly violent. It's gonna be very cartoony violence, of course.
Okay.
So we're gonna go with a more cartoony art style.
Yeah.
And the main goal is still gonna be the same. Like you gotta get more touchdowns than the other team. However, with this game, you do extreme tackles. You do a lot more dances if you want, and you also have very unique fields.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And you'll be playing this game through a bunch of original created teams.
Ooh, okay.
Or you can create your own. So there's going to be a career mode, like most football games. You're going to get to create your own football team, and you're going to play through the season. And it's kind of a good introductory to how the game works, as you're going to travel the country playing on different fields. And it's kind of just the basics of how to play, as well as normal football game seasons. Yeah. But moving into some of the gameplay stuff, starting with the takedowns. For tackles, there's going to be a variety of ways that you can tackle your opponents that would normally get you penalized in normal football, but not in this one. So you can do actions like clotheslines, drop kicks.
Krais' face on drop kicks.
You can do headbutts. If you really want to, you can do a flying sit on them. So like your character will be running right at him, jump up in the air, and just sit on him, crotches to the face first. and take them down.
So this game was rated T for teen at
yes,
least.
it's gonna be teen for cartoon violence.
Yeah.
But I wanted some extreme stuff in it.
Going full head crab.
Yeah, so I got a lot of inspirations from wrestling. Like I said, I also played a lot of the WWE games, so I got some stylized moves there. I also like Mortal Kombat, so I got a bunch of fun abilities in there like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then just, general fun stuff that I think would be very fun and video game-like.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot more stylized ways to take your opponents down.
Yeah.
So, real quick question. Do both of you know what pass interference is?
Yeah.
Kind of.
So, pass interference in football is when the ball's up in the air, the catcher is trying to catch the ball, obviously.
But you take the catcher
But you take the catcher out before
Okay.
they have control of the ball, so you just make it impossible for them to...
That's what I thought it was.
You make it impossible for them to catch it in an illegal way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's still going to be illegal in this game, but it's going to give you an option to do a stylized version, and you get style points for doing so. So the defense can trigger a unique animation when the ball's in the air, and they can do stuff that kind of just like knock the catcher out. So you can do stuff like an RKO, just quick little bring down. This idea I really like is you can do a Johnny Cage nut punch. So your character can do the splits.
Yep.
And as the catcher reacts to getting hit in the nuts, the football is going to come down and hit him in the head. And then they're just going to collapse. And then what I also like is that you could probably do like an uppercut to knock them up in the air. And the football just comes in and hits them down to the ground.
Yeah.
I also like the idea that they could probably do some superpower takedowns. So, like, if you want to do, like, a flash one, where someone just runs back and forth and just sideswipes them so many times, and then you just get down. Someone gets super strength, just slams them to the ground and throws them out of the football field.
Hadouken!
Like, basically,
Touchdown!
Yeah, so I just like the idea of doing a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah.
And as well as making a bunch of references to some other games that I like. I also had this idea of, I'll get to that when I get to the abilities, because I do have some power-ups that you can pick up in the game. Damn. Going to the fields.
Yeah.
I'm taking inspiration from different parts of America since I'm going based off American football. And each map will have characteristics of that general location. So when you're playing on the football field in New York, it's going to look very street-like and like very urban jungle-ish.
Yeah.
And one thing that's going to happen as you're playing the normal game, but not only are you trying to avoid the defense trying to stop you from getting the ball, but you also have to avoid cab drivers.
I knew you were going to say that.
And I can just see a bunch of fun, unique animations of someone getting hit and ran over by the car. Yeah. There's just a lot of fun stuff that you can do with New York. With Hawaii, you're going to have patches of lava flowing around, as well as there's going to be spots where you're able to surf. So you'll be able to pick up a surfboard and ride a tidal wave, and you got to avoid defense like jumping out of the water to bring you down.
Just a dude in a football costume with a shark fin strapped to his helmet, just ha!
And I guess one thing I should mention about all these fields is like you still have the arena around it, so you still see audience members.
Yeah.
And you still got like the sidelines that have numbers on it,
Yeah.
but it's just everything in the middle that's kind of just crazy.
Yeah.
Another thing I can see is just a guy being on like a stone, being surrounded by lava, and being like, "This wasn't in my contract."
And then for Nevada, I have slot machines that shoot tokens at you. Just trying to take out the offense.
Oh my god.
And then there's also some extreme dust storms that happen there too. For Colorado, I just have that the terrain becomes more mountainous. You might get a snowstorm or something.
Yeah, maybe an avalanche or something.
Yeah, something like that. I thought about maybe doing something with marijuana since it's a common joke here in Kansas, but I'm like, they won't allow it because it's still going to be a teen game. I don't want to make it, it just might be too heavy on the drug part.
Yeah.
But just know that I did think about it. Hollywood would be a map where you get a bunch of like movie stuff. So you see you're being chased by cowboys on horses. There's going to be UFOs that shoot laser beams.
Yeah.
And it's all going to be like random
Yeah.
events that kind of happen on this one.
Yeah.
And obviously, like maybe when the stands, you'll see the Hollywood logo up there because you kind of have to have it for Hollywood.
If you're gonna do in Hollywood.
Yeah. And then just big explosions for like the action movies and everything else.
Of course. Yeah.
Just Fun stuff.
Just add explosions into the animations and cutscenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the final map I have is close to home. We're going to do Sweet Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Or just Midwest in general.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a normal football field.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to have big weather shifts here.
Yeah, I was about to say, are you going to have the tornado? It's Kansas.
Yep. So we'll start off with sunshine as normal.
Mm-hmm.
But then we can get heavy rain and thunderstorms. We can get a tornado that comes in the middle of the map and just like throws people offside. I feel like that could be really aggravating, but so fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
If someone's like 10 yards away from the field goal
Mm-hmm.
and they just get picked up and thrown on the other side, so they have to do another 90 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And then also snowstorms, because, we just get random cold weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I wanted to do with the fields. For the character creator, you can create a character for your own team, or if you want, you can create a character and put him on one of the pre-established teams.
Ooh.
And you can give them a unique look. And because what I would like to do is, like, you don't have to have them in football gear.
Mm-hmm.
The default would be
Yeah.
football gear, but you can also, hey, instead of having a football helmet, I want to give them a hockey mask,
Yeah.
or I want to give them sunglasses, that kind of stuff. I say that because, it's part of my normal apparel.
Yeah.
Oh, and then, like, shoulder pads might become, like, Mad Max
Yeah.
Survivor.
Yeah. Would that be purely cosmetic, or would it affect stats?
All the, like, appearance items would be purely just appearance stuff.
Yeah.
But the body shape and statistics, that would adjust. So, like, I wanted, like, big cartoony and different shapes. So if we get a bigger guy, he'll move slower, but he's going to be a lot harder to take down. So, and you can design these characters no matter their body shape so they can be whatever position.
Mm-hmm.
So just because they're a big, chunky dude, that doesn't mean they have to be linemen. They can be a running back, or they can be a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it'll affect how much it takes to bring them down.
Yeah.
And I feel like it'd just be fun to get those different types of body shapes in there too.
Yeah.
And of course you can pick male, female, like standard video game choice ones.
Skinny, agile lineman.
Yeah.
Just flying back.
Yeah. But it's super easy to take down, and they'd probably be a little bit more fun to watch the animations on.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's the other thing, the body shape, the takedowns that I mentioned earlier, doesn't matter what body shape.
Yeah.
So if you want to fly in scissor kick with the big guy, go for it. Because one of the things you can do with the character creator is you get to select the takedowns you want for the characters.
Oh, okay.
And you can also select what kind of taunts you do.
Yeah.
And then you can assign them to the team, whatever team you want or team you made.
Yeah.
Moving into the power-ups, which is the last section I have here. And you get to pick up both defensive and offensive power-ups to help make the touchdown or bring the person down.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a traditional speed power-up. Not sure what that would look like, but,
Makes
I
it
think
faster.
it makes the most sense for a sports game where you do a lot of running.
Yeah.
And then I had this idea with the rope power-up where you can either bring the ball closer to you, so if it's way overhead, you can just use it and catch it. Or if you're on defense, use it to bring the person over here. And it'd be a nice little reference to Mortal Kombat Scorpion.
Yeah.
Where it
That's
says,
bad.
"Get over here!"
Can you tie a defender up? You're waiting for the pass and you just tie someone up and
And I
catch
feel
it.
like with the rope, you could also do another takedown animation.
Yeah.
Where you kind of just wrap them up and then you just
bring
like you hog tie them and they're just sitting there with a gag in their mouth.
There it is.
But yeah, that's what I had. I just wanted to go really cartoony and just a lot of fun.
Yeah. 2 questions right off the bat before we give ideas. How do you get the power-ups? Are they just like spread out the
They'll
field,
like
or-
spawn randomly throughout the field.
I didn't know if it
Okay.
was like a spawn randomly on the field or if you just pre-select.
Yeah, power-ups was the last thing I got, and I was low on time when I got to it.
Alright, sounds good. And then visually, what does the game look like? Like what art style? More realistic, like Madden or FIFA?
Well, like I said, it was going to be more cartoony.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say exactly like that, like old Fortnite art style, but something similar to it.
Gotcha.
I'm drawing a blank on some other games that have a really cartoony.
Yeah, more
So-
still cartoony where it's
Like you
clear
can still
that
tell
it's
that they're
cartoon,
human,
it's
but like
realistic.
but like a little bit more on the cartoony side
Yeah.
than realism.
Yeah,
Because obviously you want the human characters to be like that.
yeah,
Unless of course you make your custom character blue or something.
yeah,
Creative expression.
yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of where
I
I'm
was
at
just
with
curious
it.
about that. Alright, Krais, your thoughts or mine?
I can go first.
Sweet.
I really enjoyed this. I like it a lot. I'm trying to think. I can't really think of anything negative, quote unquote, negative to say. Like it's just a good game. Like you have a lot of cool maps with cool effects. You went into you leaned into the very artistic style with it, with like narrating the cutscenes and how they like interact with the world around them. Yeah, I think it's a good game all around. I would play it. Another sports game I would play. Shocker. But yeah, I just think it's a good game. I will say, when you said the weather in Kansas, my brain went back to my prompt, and it's just like, when did my bad guy get into your game? But yeah, I think it's a good prompt all around. I can't really think of anything negative. So yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Cool. I also really loved it. I see one problem with it, but it is also a great strength. It's just one of those like double things. I don't think this is a game where people will go in and sit down will come back and play it like multiple days a week, like in a row. It doesn't feel like it has that type of playability, but it is definitely a game people will constantly come back to. Mm-hmm. It's not something where like
that's what I was shooting for. I was shooting for, like,
that's what I thought.
It could either be a really good party game, or it would be just a fun one that, hey, this is a lot of fun, and we'll pick it up and keep playing it.
Yeah, it feels like one you would like just constantly come back to, but I don't feel like it's one where it's like, oh, I'm gonna play 3 hours a day for every day this week.
Yeah, I'm not shooting. I'm not shooting for it to be Minecraft or Fortnite.
Yeah.
I'm shooting for it to be a fun video game that people can play periodically.
Yeah, and you did great with that. That's the only like. It's not even a negative thing if that's what you're going for. But.
Yeah.
Oh, I did forget to mention it will be in all cross-platform.
Yeah.
That's kind of just standard.
That should be.
It's just kind of a standard that I think should be a standard in the video game industry.
Absolutely.
At this point.
Agreed.
But yeah, that's the only thing I do. I feel like this game would absolutely blow up when it's released. It'd get a lot of publicity and then it'd die out in mainstream fairly
but still
quickly.
have a good fan base.
Yeah, but then it has a fan base. I could definitely see like Let's Players just constantly doing this, trying to get all the crazy animations on camera, basically. And I feel like it'd become like something like Super Smash Bros. Where people are like, oh, I want to play a game, or it's like, what do you want to do? I don't know. I want to play a game. Oh, you got that game? Sweet, let's play it. Like it'd be.
Yeah, and I do like the idea of throwing in like cosmetic rewards or takedown rewards that you can get for playing the game.
Do you have a name for the game?
I just have Extreme Football right now. I didn't have one. I was like, what would be good for this? Because it's so cartoony, but I don't have anything. And it's just like, Extreme can be really cartoony sometimes, so Extreme Football.
For my name, I was thinking of like looking up extreme sports games and then like Extreme Super Ultra Football for like you, because I don't think it fits with mine. Extreme Super Ultra Football Clash Crazy type of thing. You just put all those adjectives in there.
Yeah.
When I was thinking about the name for it, I was thinking of how can I incorporate travel in America with it. Yeah. Just because it's so based on
Football Takedown USA.
Well, the other thing is like this would also be a very fictional version of the U.S.
Of course.
Like one of the things with football games is that they have to pay royalties for the teams' names and all that, and obviously some things get away with it. I was also kind of thinking maybe more like somewhere with how they do Subway Surfers.
Yeah.
And just I don't know. Yeah. It's like I want they're very fictionalized versions of these places. That's kind of where I'm going with on it.
Yeah. Like Kansas just being the crazy
like Kansas, we do have strange weather
for sure.
But I'm just playing up to like, hey, it switches in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's not like we have a tornado every other week like people think we do.
Yeah.
Ooh, you know what would be another good map? Louisiana. And getting stuck in a swamp.
I did think about Louisiana. I was thinking about throwing in alligators that come in and jump. I just ran out of time. I was like, no, I gotta get to the character creator and power ups too.
Yeah.
But I did think about Louisiana. I was like, I want to buy you.
Alright. I feel like you can like buy like DLCs of like unlocking new maps and stuff like, or just an upgrade to the game, or an update that comes up with a free map or something like that. You could definitely do that. And like with mine, I was thinking of like adding. You could like for mine DLCs for like a new team with a bit of story, but it'd be like a free thing, or it'd be like a DLC, but it also comes with a lot of new cosmetics or areas and abilities type of thing. But yeah, I feel like yours is just people will constantly come back to it. You will always find really fun footage on like YouTube to play. And I feel like you could like also do like your own type of like modes. Like for instance, all the characters are like big guys or all the characters are small guys. You can like tailor a playthrough or a team to a certain gimmick, I guess you could say,
Mm-hmm.
and that also has a ton of replayability.
Yeah, I didn't do any game modes besides
Yeah.
the career mode because the career is kind of like a standard one that
Yeah.
sports games have.
Yeah.
But obviously there'd be like the local play.
Yeah.
I would want custom matches so people online can set up however they want.
Yeah.
And another reason I wanted it with the cartoony style because there's this pretty big theory that bright colors just draw more attention.
Yeah.
So obviously that I would be also playing in the fact that with YouTube thumbnails with people doing that.
Yeah.
So like the bright colors tend to get more clicks than dull colors.
Yeah. No, I agree. And yeah, it just seems like a game that people will play for years and years. And then when they come out with a sequel with more stuff, people are going to buy it right away. Yeah. It's great. It's great. I feel like we all did really well with what we wanted. I think we all chose a game we wanted to make, and I feel like we all did really well at the game we wanted to make.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all great games.
Yeah, overall, really good. I know that you two in particular were really nervous about this.
Oh, yeah.
Last time when we got the prompt, but y'all seem to have a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah, honestly, this is probably the prompt I feel the most confident about, like the most proud of what I did.
Same here.
Yeah, this is probably one of my top 3
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Like, I really liked my Disney platformer, but I like this even better, which I'm surprised by.
I still think my DC Cinematic Universe is probably my favorite prompt of mine, but this might be second because this was a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm really impressed with all of us.
Yeah. Good job, everyone.
Yeah, nice round of applause.
Yep.
All right, shall we see what we're doing next?
Oh,
Yes.
boy. Yeah.
All right. Now,
All right, here we go.
one of my least favorite parts.
Ooh. Make a modern monster movie.
Ooh.
Okay.
We talked about this, yeah.
Where do I go with this?
By monster movie, I think we need to give examples.
So you can do classic monsters like Dracula, Frankenstein, the Invisible Man, the Wolf Man, do stuff like that. Or if you want to create a monster movie that's featuring a monster that's not really shown in the public too much, and you want to shine some spotlight on that, do that. Just tell us what you would do if you were to make a monster movie today. So like, Hollywood just says, here's a blank check, do what you want with this horror movie.
Yeah, and then it does not have to be a monster that's already exists, correct? It's just a monster movie.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like
cool.
if you're able to come up with your own monster completely, that's really impressive.
Dude, I've been doing that for years. Sorry, I'm a writer. I do that.
But like, yeah, if you just want to adapt something, do that. If you really like the classic ones, they started giving them more love, but then they kind of stopped because like we had the Invisible Man, and then I think we got whatever his name is, Del Toro. He did basically a Creature of the Black Lagoon remake with The Shape of Water.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you do stuff like that, go for it.
Yeah.
Just whatever story you want to tell with a monster in the modern day.
Yeah.
Well, when I say the modern day, it doesn't have to be
Released.
Released. The movie doesn't have to take place
In the modern day. It would have to be released.
It has to be released in modern day.
Gotcha. Cool.
But yeah, that's what we got for next time.
This is probably the one I've been most excited for.
Yeah, I'm excited to do this one too.
Yeah.
But
I'm not.
yeah, someone needs to watch more horror movies.
Well, actually, I will say, as we were talking, I had a stroke of genius. So I'll.
So you do have something.
I do have something. If it's as good as everyone else's, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening to this episode. We had a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah.
And sports isn't something that we talk about on the regular. And I know.
At all.
Yeah. Well,
What's sports
I'm
again?
probably the one that talks about sports the most. But still, this was just a really fun one for us. And we hope that you enjoyed listening to our pitches for it.
Yeah.
Be sure to be on the lookout for our next episode. So, hi!
And he's gone. Wait, no, not through the window! Ah!
The Three Not So Wise Men. Krais Baker. Jack Green. Oscar Michaelis. Special thanks to Louis Trotter for the amazing intro. See you next time.